to GTV Africa.
For our departed Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, passed away.
On live to GTV Africa, live from Defense Headquarters, Director of Media Operation, Major General Buba, leading 1 minute silence for the departure of late Lieutenant General Lagbaja. Nigeria Army lost a senior officer.
And we pray that his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Our esteemed ladies and gentlemen of the press, senior officers, defense headquarters, and service headquarters, you're welcome to today's operational update on our activities in fighting terrorists and insurgents across the country. But I would like to start by saying that the emotional cost of waking up to the horrific news of the passing of our beloved Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, is quite intense. It is indeed a sad moment for us in the armed forces. It is against this background that, on behalf of the Chief of Defense Staff, General C.G. Musa, officers, and men of the armed forces, express our heartfelt condolences to his lovely wife, his children, and his entire family. We pray the Lord grant us all the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. I believe in the coming days, burial arrangement for him will be released. Having said that, I know clearly that citizens understand that we are fighting a war against terrorists and insurgents. In this war, we must also understand that in spite of our loss, and a great loss in these circumstances, we have no option but to continue fighting these terrorists, as we all know that they will not stop until they are stopped. I can say that our troops have done a tremendous job of significantly dismantling these terror groups across our nation, particularly in the various theaters of operations that we are engaged in. Our strategy remains to undermine the ability of these terror groups and their cohorts are thoroughly. Troops have conducted simultaneous strikes with several terrorist enclaves and their hideouts across this country. Our efforts have carried out bombardments and air interdiction on several terrorist hideouts and enclaves with precision. These strikes have significantly diminished the fighting capabilities of these terrorists. And it is indeed true that these terrorists know that they cannot match our military strength. They therefore have no option but to either surrender or be killed in the battle. Accordingly, I can confirm without listing names at this time that we have several terrorist leaders, commanders, and combatants, particularly in the north central part of this country, that have indicated to surrender. For this reason and this purpose, we are opening a surrendering corridor for them. It is noteworthy to state that in October 2024, troops neutralized 481 terrorists. We arrested 741 persons connected with terrorism and insurgency, and we rescued 492 kidnapped hostages during the month of October. Troops have also significantly destroyed the terrorist fighting capabilities by the reported outcome that I just listed. Furthermore, troops recovered 480 weapons and over 9,000 assorted ammunition in the course of the month of October 2024. These recoveries illustrate how troops have diminished the military capabilities of these terrorists. Indeed, troops also denied oil theft of close to 4 billion naira in the month of October. This speaks to demonstrate how troops have curbed crude oil theft and how our operations have boosted the nation's daily crude oil production in helping us meet our daily targets. Now the breakdown of the recovered items for the month of October as follows. We recovered 264 AK-47 rifles, 47 pump action guns, and over 5,000 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, among other items recovered in the month of October. Troops also recovered over 3 million liters of stolen crude oil, over 760,000 liters of illegally refined AGO, best described as diesel, and over 12,000 liters of PMS, best described as petrol, among other items recovered in the month of October. I will now take us through our various operational theaters, beginning with the Northeast Theater, where we have Operation Hardenpay. The troops of Operation Hardenpay sustained the tempo against terrorists and their cohorts in the Northeast Theater of Operation. The troops conducted synchronized offensives between the Air Force and the ground forces. These synchronized offensives struck on terrorist enclaves and hideouts, dislodging them. Indeed, the exerted military pressure on the terrorists resulted in some significant outcomes. Overall, during the month of October, the troops of Operation Hardenpay neutralized 198 terrorists, arrested 166 persons, engaged in terrorism and insurgency and rescued 156 kidnapped hostages in the course of the operations. Troops also recorded 257 surrendered terrorists, combatants, and their families. And this is what we are hoping will soon begin in the North Central Theater of Operation shortly. The summary of recovered items include 73 AK-47 rifles, 1,574 rounds of 7.62 millimeter special ammunition, among other items recovered. We can now move to the North Central, where we have Operation Safe Haven. The troops of Operation Safe Haven conducted offensive operations that dominated that theater of operation. Accordingly, the plateau has experienced relative peace across the state. These are not my words, these are the words of the state governor of Plateau State. During the months of October, troops of Operation Safe Haven neutralized 30 violent extremists, arrested 140 of them, and rescued 105 kidnapped hostages. The troops of Operation Safe Haven also recovered 19 AK-47 rifles, 834 rounds of 7.62 millimeter special ammunition, among others. Now, the recoveries of these weapons and ammunition are indicative of how we have destroyed the terrorists and the violent extremist military capabilities, as well as their fighting capabilities. Let us remain in the North Central and take a look at Operation Wild Stroke. The troops of Operation Wild Stroke prevailed over terrorists and their cohorts. That operation is engaged in Benue, Nasarawa, and Taraba states. And during the month of October, the troops of Operation Wild Stroke neutralized 20 terrorists, rescued 60 kidnapped hostages, among other items recorded during the period. The troops also recovered 18 AK-47 rifles, 741 rounds of 7.62 millimeter special ammunition, among several other items recovered. Let's now cross over to the Northwest. A lot is happening in the Northwest, and I'll speak about it shortly. The troops of Operation having in Daji in the Northwest remain focused on their mission, and their mission is to create a conducive and stable security environment for agricultural activities and other forms of socio-economic activities in the following states: Kaduna State, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, and Zamfara, all in the Northwest. The troops embarked on several offensive operations, canalizing and destroying terrorists in their hideouts and their enclaves through ground and air operations. Nevertheless, troops are confronted with a new terrorist sect in the Northwest. This sect is known as Lakurawa. The Lakurawas are affiliated to terrorists from the Sahel, particularly from Mali and Niger republics. They began incursion into northern parts northwestern part of Nigeria, namely Sokoto and Kebbi states. And like I mentioned, they came in from Niger and the Mali axis. Now, why are we seeing this at this time? This came as a result of the coup that took place in Niger Republic. Prior to the coup, we had joint border operations with Nigerian security forces, which kept these terrorists at bay. Now, when that coup took place, there was a breakdown of cooperation between both countries. The terrorists took advantage of the gaps in cooperation and made incursions into northwest Nigeria. They exploited the difficult terrains and made incursions into remote areas in our northwestern states. And when they came in, they started spreading their ideology. Now the issue is, when they came in, did the people see them? They saw them. What did they do? They embraced them rather than report them. And what has that resulted? The people saw them as friends. The same friends they thought were friends have turned to foes. And we did not get this report on time until we started creating some power. Nevertheless, we are on top of that situation. We have sustained our intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and accordingly carried out interdiction, ground offensives to degrade these terrorists, find them, flush them, until we finally defeat them. The same way we have defeated terrorist groups in the northeastern part of this country. Okay. Troops are locating them, like I mentioned, and we are eliminating them. Now to other operations. Still on the northwest, I will say that the troops of Operation Hardening Daji neutralized 163 terrorists, arrested 82 suspects engaged in terrorism and insurgency, and we rescued 80 kidnapped hostages in the course of the month of October 2024. Additionally, troops recovered 121 AK-47 rifles and over 1,000 rounds of 7.62mm NATO ammunition, among others. Like I said, these recoveries speaks about our degrading the fighting and the military capabilities of these terrorists. Still in the northwest, let's take a peek into Operation Wild Punch. The troops of Operation Wild Punch recorded the following in the month of October. Troops neutralized 30 terrorists, arrested over 111 of them, and rescued 52 kidnapped hostages in the course of the month of October. The troops of Operation Maestro equally recovered 9 AK-47 rifles, 16 assorted arms, and over 160 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, among other items recovered. Now to our operations in the South-South, where we have Operation Delta Sea. The troops of Operation Delta Sea maintained the momentum against the activities of crude oil thefts. Troops continued to find and destroy illegal refining sites, as well as arrest perpetrators of oil theft. Additionally, troops have, through their operations, recorded a progressive increase in the nation's daily crude oil production target, with over 1.5 million barrels per day recorded as at today. During the month of October, troops of Operation Delta Sea arrested 126 persons involved in crude oil theft. The troops also denied the oil theft of over 3.2 million liters of stolen crude oil, over 760,000 liters of illegally refined AGO, as well as over 12,000 liters of illegally refined gas. Furthermore, the troops of Operation Delta Sea recovered over 429 assorted ammunition, destroyed 195 wooden boats, as well as 216 illegal refining sites, among others. Now to the southeast, where we have Operation Buba. The troops of Operation Buba conducted offensive operations against the indigenous people of Biafra and their Eastern Security Network terror group in several of the eastern states, killing the terrorists, making arrests, and making recoveries of weapons and ammunition. Activities of the indigenous people of Biafra terror group were recorded in the following eastern states. We had activities recorded in Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Imo, and Enugu states, all in the month of October. In all these incidences, several of these terrorists were killed and arrested. I believe in my earlier briefs, I have released names of those killed and even those arrested. Overall, the troops of Operation Buba in the month of October neutralized 40 terrorists, arrested 55 of them, and rescued 35 kidnapped hostages in the month of October. Additionally, troops recovered 21 AK-47 rifles and 24 pump-action guns, among several items recovered in the course of our operations. In closing, I would like to say that on the whole, even as we mourn, the armed forces will not allow the tragic passing away of our beloved Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Harry Lavendra. We will not allow his passing away to derail our focus on destroying the terrorists. We remember him to be a fighter, a warrior. We are inspired by his fighting spirit. So rather than allow his passing away to derail us in fighting the terrorists, we are rather motivated by his actions as a warrior and strong desire as a commander to defeat the terrorists and end the war. We will take a cue from his fighting spirit and end the war. Accordingly, the military will continue to work decisively to kill the terrorists, stop the insecurity, and ensure the safety of our citizens. I urge citizens to be rest assured that the armed forces remains in a good and strong position in this war, and we will win this war. Thank you. That said, we will go to the next segment of this meeting, which is to watch some of our agents.
You're home to GTV Africa. Major General. Just,
Now, the air components of Operation Locust continue to target terrorist cybernetics
please.
in camps in the Mother Valley Forest and the general region of the southeast. Air interdictions were conducted on several of the camps in which we confirmed that the indigenous people of Biafra and the Eastern Security Network terror group were hibernating. The clip before you was that of air interdiction conducted in Ioma. After the airstrike, battle damage assessment revealed that several of these terrorists were killed. Now, the next clip that you're watching now is on our air activities in the Niger Delta region, geared and aimed at curbing crude oil theft, as well as boosting the nation's daily crude oil production. The air interdictions to curb the crude oil theft activities were conducted around Imo River, Usaku, Obiaku, and Cough Creek, 2 in the Niger Delta region. These are all the things that you are watching before you on screen. want to go into terms must be ready to pay the highest price of his life. Because when we see you, we take you. And that is, there is no more gift gloves. We see you, take you out. You will not even leave to tell the story. And it is yielding results. The expected results that we want. Our daily production for the nation is progressively increasing day by day. This is what we want. Because we all know that oil is the mainstay of our economy. And more than ever before, we need our economy to be richer so that people give each and every one of you this, and I would like you to disseminate it as far reaching as possible. Thank you.
Well, I know you will be hinting to say the declared wanted,
So we go to
and let me just show you.
interactive session.
Well, I promise that I'll get to
And
that later. The declared wanted fellow that has declared.
I'll start by taking questions from my left.
This is question and answer. If you have a question, you can also send it to me.
Please proceed.
Notes, pay attention to the questions that's going on in the house.
Good morning. My name is Vince Lemon. Sir, as a lawyer of this group seeking here, I want to, on behalf of my colleagues, the Defense Correspondents Association, Nigeria, extend our heartfelt condolences to the Nigerian Army in particular and the military in general over the demands of a very gallant officer who led by example, whose contribution to this fight against insurgency, criminality, illegal oil theft, and others has led to a better Nigeria today. If even though we have not gotten to exactly the place we wish Nigeria to be. The death of Lieutenant General Taoreed Adeoku Lagbaja took everybody by surprise. We knew the synergy he had with the chief of defense staff and his fellow service chiefs. And as the media who brought out the operational successes and even shortcomings in some areas and the military face in this fight against insecurity and the rest. We want to once again say, may the soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the media, he has just given the words to the service. He has given the words to the service as regard to the loss of number one military personnel in army, and that is the chief of army staff, which was lost.
Just like Arabic, yes, right? See, sincerely, sympathizes, rather than this is nice. My question is, as you mentioned earlier, there is the new case of return to in Sokoto. Last week we took a report of the charging military or troops deploying energy here. So I don't know if there are thoughts or any measures taken as in order to ensure that we don't have a critical happens as a result of the mention of Niger. My second question is last week also was a report of three soldiers abandoning their post. Do we have any updates that where the soldiers are the reasons why they are not duty post?
Live to GTV Africa, live from Abuja.
First, I would like to thank you for the kind words that you have to say about our Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T. Labrador, that passed away. Like I said earlier, we will draw inspiration for what he lived for. We will not allow his passing away to derail our strategic and operational objectives because that is not what he would have wanted. He was a warrior. He spent a lot of his life in the battlefront. His strong desire was for us to end this terrorism, to defeat the terrorists both on the battlefield and wherever, and bring peace back to citizens of this country. So rather than allow his passing away to derail us, we take motivation to go forcefully after these terrorists and defeat them and end this insecurity once and for all. Now, to your other question about how the breakdown of cooperation between Niger Republic and Nigeria as a result of that coup allowed the penetration of another terrorist sect using that gap that was created. We're in a better place today because both countries are communicating. The militaries are once again cooperating. And definitely, we are going to put those terrorists at bay, and we are going to find and flush out those ones that are come in, called the natural ones. And it tells me to say that which I always said, winning this war without the support of the people is close to impossible. When those people came in, the citizens welcomed them. They did not report them. They thought they were saints. Until they now had a grip of them and started doing funny things with them. And then we started hearing. And we are now reacting. So we warn and we say, please, help us to help you. If you see strangers in your community, your locality, you don't understand them, let us know so that we know what to do. We will take care of that situation, no doubt. As for the development and how it relates, spoken about Chad. I'm yet to get any confirmation on that. But what I can say that Chad pulling out of the multinational joint task force, I'm yet to get any confirmation on that. But what I can say is that terrorism is a global phenomenon. No one country can do it alone. No one country can do it alone. It is a global phenomenon. We need to work not only from nation to curb it, we need to extend the frontiers from nation to region to world. And that is why, even as we fight here, we have international partners from all over the world coming in to provide different kinds of support, ranging from intelligence to training to weapons, to because they know it's a global phenomenon. The MNJTF is an example of how to regionally tackle terrorism. There are other places in the world that are learning and understanding how it has worked and how they can use it in their region. So I do not see how we will fold our hands and allow that to crumble. There's no wisdom in it. But like I said, I have no confirmation. We'll get more information on that and pass it across. Thank you. I'll go to the right. Oh, what's that? Oh. Now about, you're talking about soldiers. You reported that you mentioned that or you asked rather, that some soldiers in Baga dropped their weapons and declared wanted. Okay, let me tell you what that is called in military law. It's called desertion. If it does not happen or it can't happen, it will not be in the law. Do you get me? It is in the law for a purpose because it is anticipated that that kind of thing can happen. So when it happens, what do? You look for those soldiers. So they have done what is called desertion. And it's not uncommon in war, and it's not uncommon to only Nigeria. And that's why we have it in the law. So when you commit that offense, we look for it. That offense may have come out of cowardice, which is also in the law. Do you understand? The military law recognizes cowardice. So if you perform an act of cowardice, we will deal with you appropriately. If you carry out desertion, we will deal with you appropriately. So if they have abandoned their weapons, thank God they left the weapons. At least they didn't go and give it to the enemy. So we will now look for them and mete out justice to them. Thank you. Yes, let's go to prayer. Yes, sir. Let's go to prayer.
Thank you very much, sir. I think it's honestly how things still commemorating with the Nigerian Armed Forces and the passing of the Shawam Star, Lieutenant Colonel Abiodun Adeya. Noting the fact that he was a firm supporter of the Defense Correspondent Association, as mentioned by my HC, was believed firmly in the programs that the association was he believed firmly in the program that the association was running. So we again convey our condolences. We have lost someone that has inspired what we do as professional journalists. And having said that, my question is, you indicated that the window is open for surrender. We would like to know, is this offered by the CS or is coming from maybe the presidential leader or the president as the case may be? And number two, you also talking about this new terror group and the fact that members of the locals did not immediately resist or informed the authorities. That brings to the next question, perhaps. What would have gone wrong on the side of the authorities from picking up that information, even when the locals were unavailable to provide such information? Thank you very much.
Same line. My name is Ben Dowell. I'm coming from State Africa. So, in the same line, it's a new trend. So, from the intelligence that is available to the authority, please can you give other Nigerians information of what will make us to know if we see any of them around us? Because I want to believe that they are not just restricting themselves to Sokoto environment. Some of them might have escaped to other parts of the country. So how do we know them?
Good morning, sir. I need to land on this way. I write for Nigerian kind of system. Just to add to what you said. Also from intelligence available to table so that we can properly profile them. Firstly, in terms of their threats, can we know their numerical strength, numbers, say maybe 300, 500, and type of result? And also, what kind of ideology do they have? Do they share same ideology with already existing terrorists, or they have a different agenda based on the fact that they are involved there, they came from outside? Thank you, sir.
Yes, madam.
Well, it is goodness that I put forward news files. I want to speak with regards to soldiers' welfare, a little bit away from the brief. I want to ask what process to has the military put in place to rehabilitate some of the soldiers who leave the forefront, the war front, after their time? I'm asking this question in regards to a particular situation where a soldier lost his mind and had to rehabilitate himself by himself, went through therapy session and we had to deal with it for over a year. And I kept asking, what is the role of the military in this situation? And no answers came. So I decided to ask at this moment, what role is the military putting in place to ensure that these soldiers go through rehabilitation program to ensure that they don't exhibit some violent tendencies? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Let me start by saying that this new group that has penetrated the northwestern part of the country to ISIS in the Sahelian region. And it is indeed the first attempt of the Sahelian jihadists to have a foothold in our country. Like I mentioned earlier, they were kept at bay all this while when we had joint cross-border operations with the Republic of Niger. However, when the coup took place in Niger, they took advantage of the breakdown in cooperation between both countries, which has now been restored. They took advantage of that breakdown make incursions through the difficult terrain to remote locations around the outskirts of the northwestern part of our country, some of those states. We know exactly where they are as I speak to you. Now, what are the issues? When they came in, locals recognized that they had strangers in their midst. Recognizing that you have strangers in your midst, the proper thing to do is to let the authorities know. But they embraced them, thinking that they were going to sort of protect them from terrorists or whatever, and allow them to settle in and spread their ideology. Having settled in and gained a foothold, they started imposing certain levies and whatever on the people. And the people now said it like, what's going on here? It was at that point that they felt the need to notify. That is not the time to notify. You notify immediately you see something strange. So, winning this war clearly without the support of the people is impossible. So I continue to say that and beg on Nigerians to help us to help them. Now that we know we're finding them, we're flushing them out. They came in just the same way we have something like Boko Haram. They're telling you the men should keep long hair. They're telling you the women must wear hijab or whatever. They're telling you the men must have jump-up trousers. And so many other things like that. So, they are easy to find based on their traits. So, we're on that situation. That's what I can say right now. The issue of surrendering. I've been said that the terrorists are left with the option of surrender or die on the battlefield. There is no third option. And when I say or speak about surrender, surrender is an act of war. In war, there is a thing known as surrender. When the enemy comes and raises his hand up and drops his weapon, it is a crime to shoot at him. And we are a professional force. They have indicated that they want to surrender. They are afraid if we will take them out in the process, and we have assured them that we will create a safe corridor for them to surrender, drop their arms, and we will receive them. After all, we are receiving surrender terrorists in the northeast already. So we are not new to it. To the issue of PTSD, because that question has to do with PTSD. I tell you that our troops have been exposed to battle for upwards of 10 years. When you have been in battle for that long, the issue of PTSD is not far-fetched. Recognizing this, the military has put in place PTSD management centers to help such personnel who might be suffering from it. That is to say that we recognize it exists, when you recognize the problem, it is half solved. We recognize it exists, and we are doing something about it. We call on citizens to help us too. We have experts out there. There are things that you think we should do, or should know more about. Help us to get better at it. That's much I can say. Have I answered all the questions? Or I missed them? Thank you very much.
On live to GTV Africa, the general has just given
That
details
brings us to the end of
and
this.
answers to questions posed to him by the one I will want you to take note is a new set of group that just come to the system and has just said that they are of idea of you having a long beards.
This time, our 1 minute silence is for our departed heroes of the battlefield. May the souls of our departed heroes rest in power, please.
On to GTV Africa, I promise that you get more details as time goes on, but one that you must take note is a new trend, a new set that are in the system. And they are of opinion that their members have a short trouser, a long beard, and others having ideology of the same thing with IS, popular one outside the country. So if you have a group of people that just enter your facility and others, take note, notify the military authority on time before it's too late. When you have strange people coming to your community, it is of opinion the security outfits that you quickly make known and never you quiet about it. This is GTV Africa coming to you live from Abuja. I'm very grateful for your time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page for more. Till I come your way. Bye for now. Thank you. Come up for us. Give us your view about the streaming, about our activities. That makes us to grow more and have more strength. Your comments inspire us to do better. Like, share, and let other people know about GTV Africa so that they too will have an opportunity of having what is going on as soon as possible and as soon as it's going on. GTV is always on ground to bring to you happiness. You can invite us for your activities. You let us know when you're having anything. Get our number and send us a message to notify us. Thank you so much for your time. Till I come your way again, and let me go. Peace be unto you.
Don't give me your own.